few days later now, and so I've got the parts in. I'm starting to just kind of fit everything. It's kind of a nasty day. This is not usual for winter in Arizona. It's been probably the rainiest winter since I've been here. Let me just show you what I got. Yeah, so here's the brake booster I got from eBay. So I kind of fit it in there. It's pretty difficult. I didn't even realize until after I got this in that I must have bent this hard line here. So I put it back into place. It's okay. Yeah, I just kind of fit the master cylinder. This is all super loose. I did screw in 2 bolts from the inside, but didn't get it tight or anything like that. I just spent a lot of time cleaning the area. And then what I got here is I went to the junkyard and I pulled a spare part. So I got the brake wear sensor. So when you're looking down at the fuse box, it's actually, there's a clip that just attaches it to the fuse box. So I'm going to go ahead, when I do everything, probably tomorrow, I'll just get this unclipped, and then both the ABS sensor and the brake wear sensor go down to this rubber stopper piece, and they have holes in it, and then there's a hard brake line that goes through there too. That's the one that you attach your soft brake line to right before you get to the caliper. And so this all goes down. This is on driver's side, of course. And so what you have to do is just push that through or pull it up, whatever way. And then you're going to have to cut it to replace this line because it doesn't have a way to take it out. Then I'll be able to clean that up for real. Here's the other side of it where you can see it a little easier. So yeah, one of these wires is brake wear sensor, and then the ABS sensor, and then this is the hard line, which attaches right here. So, yep, I'll be getting this tomorrow and doing it for real, taking this off. I put way too much paste. I'm going to fix that. So there is one thing I had to do to the master cylinder. Just the way I got the part, it had this guy plugged with a different kind of plug, and then it had the hard line going to here. But I just set this up exactly the same as how it was before. So I took the original plug out of mine, which is different. The one that goes in there takes an Allen key, the one that came with this, I mean. And then, yeah, because this line wouldn't reach, and I don't want to be bending it and all that stuff. And plus, I don't really know what I'm doing here, so I'm just putting it back how it was, basically. When you put the new master cylinder in, you're definitely going to want to use the gasket they include, so just put that in there. And then it's kind of nice, they included 2 new nuts, so I'm going to put those on when I secure it to the brake booster. One of the parts I got here since I broke this was this part number right here. So this is one of those things where, let's see, you just kind of put it in here. Yeah, it comes out there. Pretty self-explanatory. There's just this part goes through. There's a little rubber piece that goes on there. And then the last part is just a 10mm nut that holds it in place. So here we go. Yep, so I'll just fasten that down. But then finally, got a proper hood release again, instead of having to use a pick tool. This should last a long time. And then I also got, right here, I got, here we go, brand new star. This one's definitely just got some funkiness. It's tired. So I'll get that out here. That one, I think you basically just grab on, turn this like quarter turn, and then it should just pop right out. So we'll see. All right, yesterday I kind of set everything here. So today I'm going to finish this up on the brake booster side. So I got everything kind of staged. Yeah, when you put your master cylinder in, there's a little pin inside the brake booster. You just have to kind of line it up, make sure it goes into the center. And so I went ahead, did that. I got the brake booster, it's snugged up nice and tight. And then what I got here is I'm going to find the right fittings here for the 2 parts. I don't have vice grips and a bench to do a bench bleed, because you need to get all the air out of here. So what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to snug this up, like get that in there nice and tight, the 2 bolts here and back here. And then I'm going to go ahead and drop this on. I don't think I can fit it first. I don't think it'll fit and everything like that. So I'll have to put this in after. So I'll get this tightened up, put the reservoir on, and then what's going to happen here is I'll find the right fittings, put them in here, and I'm going to use the tube to feed it back into itself. So basically at that point, I'll be able to go in, connect that pin from the brake booster that I've had laying on the floor. I can reconnect the brake assembly so that this actually does something. And that will actuate the master cylinder. And when I have this back on, then I'll be able to get all the air out of there. And so then it's just going to be making sure I get all the air out. And then at that point, I can connect the real brake lines. And we'll still have to do bleeding there. But I'll get that part sorted. And then it'll be time to get back to these guys on this side and then the other side too. Anytime there's rubber components, like I'm just going to slide this back in. I just use this rubber lubricant. This is the Mercedes part number. This will work really good. It'll help it slide in there. Don't want to ruin this seal as I'm pushing it in. All right, a couple of real important steps here just to show you. I'm at the brake pedal. You follow it up. When you put your brake booster in, you're going to want to make sure that those 2 brass colored pieces, like the fork that comes out of the brake booster, make sure that they go around the pedal. So there's a hole on each of them, and that's where the pin goes through. So I fed the pin in from this side, and then there's a locking pin that I'm going to put in just a moment. I found it easier to get it through when I took off the spring for the brakes. So don't forget to put that back on. And yeah, so now I'm just going to tighten that up, put this electrical connector that I've had off back on after I get the clip on. And at that point, we can try to do the bench bleed in the car. Okay, finished the bench bleed. And now I'm going for some redemption here. So I just disconnected my sensor from the actual brake pad. Yep, I'm going to clean that crap up in a minute. But first things first, I'm going to pull this through. See, so I got my ABS sensor, and then the one I'm caring about is this. I'm going to get rid of this hack. I got a good used part. I'm going to have to cut this part right here. Just cut a line across there, and yeah, I'll feed it through the top. And yeah, also just kind of a nice thing was the little door that goes on here. That broke too, so the one I have is good. And yeah, I mean, you can even see, if the camera focuses, you can even see, like this is supposed to be nice and soft plastic, but it's just coming apart with the fingernail. So yeah, the one I have is pretty good. I cleaned it. So I'm going to drop that in there, spray off these brakes here real good. I have like a new piece here, so I'm going to put that in there. I forgot to grease the pins, so I need to take these out properly, grease the pins. Yeah, and I think actually this gap here is okay. I showed it to some people and they said it's okay. It's threaded in there very good. It is not going in any further. I did not cross thread it either. So when I looked at the junkyard, when I was pulling the parts that I need here, like the brake wear sensor, it looked about the same. Maybe the gap wasn't quite that large, but it was also a little hard to tell because there's a lot of dirt in this area. So I feel pretty good about this. I'm going to leave this here. The top part had no problem connecting at all, so that side's good. All right, it's going to get started. Then the last thing I'm going to do, yeah, spray this down with some brake clean. I never did that. I forgot to do that. And make sure that all the film and all that other stuff that's on here when they ship it is just cleaned off. Then we do the other side. All right, so I got the pins out, And I just wanted to show something here that I did on some parts cars at the junkyard. I just went ahead and got these. And then what I did is I put this in just one of those bottles, water bottle, and I put these rubber bits in with some ATF, the transmission fluid, and it really, I mean, they were pretty hard. The ones I have on my car, like the ends of the, well, yeah, it's back over here, like the bleeding screw cover. If I take mine off, it's completely messed up. Yeah, it has a hole in it, so it's so hard too. So especially these, where the pins go. So I don't know if that's like a real solution. I just saw that somewhere. Actually, my friend told me about it, but then I messed up, and he was talking about AT205, which is kind of like it goes and swells up gaskets and stuff like that, which makes sense. That should work. But yeah, here, if you just look at the difference between this one, this is like crunchy, and then look at how soft this is. I mean, this is like crazy soft. Feels soft to the touch. So yeah, well, you know, it worked this time. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I just put it in a bottle, shook it up, closed it, and then let it sit for 2 or 3 days. So I'm getting to the passenger side here, and there's like a dent in the shock. I'll have to replace that at some point, sometime soon. Strut mounts are going out too. Yeah, basically I'm gonna replace the rotor here in a minute, but I was just looking at the brake lines, and so yeah, I definitely over torqued it. Like, I put way too much into that. It is, the replacement part is different. The original was like a 123 part number, and the replacement is an R129 part. And so you can see, I'm trying to get a good, yeah, there we go. So it is longer, and so the threading goes up more too. So, or I guess the threading goes up the same, doesn't matter, but it has longer threading. So anyways, as long as it's in there good and you torque it good, I think you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do this side. The brake sensors, they look okay. So I'm just going to leave it because this has the nice snap-in bit. And unless I discover, oh wait, maybe this, yeah, never mind, I'm going to replace that. Yeah, that looks like shit. It's falling apart. Okay. Yep. Alright, I'll replace that too. I pulled the other side just in case. I knew that this would probably happen. Just finished bleeding the back brakes, and that went great. You can see there's a lot of shit in the lines. So now I just got to do the fronts, which are basically empty since I just replaced the soft brake lines there. And yeah, the fluid that came out of there was nasty. So I just got to do these, and then when it comes time to do the SL, I'm definitely going to have I'm going to look at the Motive Euro pressure bleeder. So that's something that the folks in the 500D board have recommended. They've been great, kind of supporting me as I'm going through these steps and figuring things out. So now I just got to do the fronts, and probably the last thing I'll do before this New Year's break is over is just, I got some Laminex for Christmas, so put it on these beautiful headlamps. But for right now, I'm just going to finish this, make sure the car drives okay. I want to make sure the odometer is working too. Alright, put about 25 miles or so on it, and it's driving good. The brakes are working great. The odometer that I had fixed is working pretty good. The trip part is not rolling past 9, but the reset works. I'll figure that out later. The AC is questionable. Sometimes it just cuts out, like the blower motor just stops, and then it starts again, stops. I don't know if that's the AC fan clutch, or I'm not sure. I'll have to troubleshoot that, but the brake light is not on anymore, and yeah, overall pretty good, pretty fast, pretty zippy for for a diesel. It moves a little bit. So, oh yeah, I got the that fixed too. I replaced the LCD in that. So, yeah, calling it a success. This is great. Holy shit! Check out this dude. He's got his wheel just like he got in an accident, and he keeps going to the left. Like the wheel's angled that way. He must have just kept driving or something. I don't know who this guy is. But his bumper's flapping in the wind and everything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Still rolling. Guy hasn't wrecked yet, but check that out.